Very good morning, my dear children. I hope you are doing good. But actually, I want to appreciate each and every children because you are giving a positive feedback as well as you are sending all your queries to the given number, and whenever we are receiving the doubts, immediately we are going to attend all those doubts through phone, and we are also providing the answers through WhatsApp to that particular number. Thank you very much. Keep asking doubts. It's asking doubts is nothing but you are involving more in the subject, right? Now let us come to the point. In the last week, we celebrated our daughter's birthday. On the occasion of birthday, my daughter asked me a cake. She wanted to cut a cake. All you know that due to this lockdown, no bakery was opened. Then we think that we want to prepare the cake at our home itself. For this, we have taken the help of YouTube video. By using that video, we prepared one cake. After looking at the cake, because we have done a small experiment in making this cake. By looking at this cake, my daughter asked for one more cake because it was too small. Then again we followed the same measurements, same quantities, and again we prepared one more cake. Then the day came and we celebrated her birthday by cutting. She cut the cake of what we prepared at our home. After cutting the cake, she ate one cake. After that, she ate some more part in the other cake. After having that cake, I asked my daughter, "Beta, how many cakes you ate?" Then she has given the answer in a smart way that I ate more than one cake but less than two cakes. What she told? I ate more than one cake but less than two cakes. Then again she got one doubt. Immediately she asked me, "So far you explained about we know about only numbers. In our previous class, we discussed about numbers like 1, 2, 3 and the numbers in thousands, lakhs, 10,000s like that. But here you can see the situation where we are getting the numbers which are in between the two given numbers. That means here if you take the present example, she ate more than one but less than two. We have not seen any number so far in between 1 and 2. So it clearly told us that there are some numbers which are in between the numbers what we have discussed in our last class. Those numbers are nothing but fractions and decimals. Today we are going to discuss about fractions, decimals, and how can we compare the fractions, and we know all the four operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. How can we make all these operations on fractions as well as decimals? In the same way, we are going to learn about set of numbers and their representation on the number line, and then how can we represent the operations, binary operations on the number line, right? Now let us come to the topic fractions. Let us look at the figure. Here there lived a person, Ramaya. He has 3 sons and 1 daughter. He has a green field which is in the shape of a rectangle. Now, he want to share his field to all his sons and daughter. Sorry. So, as there are 4 persons, he wanted to distribute the land into 4 equal parts, because he want to see everyone as same. Then he made the 4 equal parts like this, and for every person he has given 1 part. For every person he has given 1 part. That means everyone got 1 part out of 4 parts. That means how can we represent this phenomena in a number? Here total how many parts are there? Here we have 4 parts. Out of 4 parts, everyone is getting 1 part. That means this can be represented as 1 by 4. This is nothing but a fraction. This is nothing but a fraction. Please remember, my dear children, we can represent the fractions only when the quantity or a number or an object will be divided into equal parts. Then only we can represent that particular part in the form of a fraction. Here total how many parts are there? 4 parts are there. Out of 4 he is taking 1 part. That means part of a whole. Part of a whole. Whole means, if you look at this example, whole means this entire field, it is divided into 4 parts, that is whole. Out of these 4 parts he is taking only 1 part, so this can be represented as 1 by 4. And this also will represent 1 by 4, and this also we can represent 1 by 4, and this also we can represent as 1 by 4. If you represent the part of a whole like this, for this purpose we use the term fractions. Let us take any fraction. If you have a fraction like this, then for example let us take a fraction 2 by 3. Let us take a fraction 2 by 3. If you look at the fraction here you can see, or I can write like this, right, 2 by 3. If you observe this fraction, here you can find a horizontal line. Above the horizontal line you have 1 digit, and below the horizontal line you have another digit. The digit which was written above the horizontal line is known as numerator, and the number which is represented below the horizontal line, this is known as denominator. This is known as denominator. Like this, if you take any fraction, you have the 2 terms, one is numerator and another one is denominator, right. Now let us come to some more examples. Here you can see the slide, here you can see some shaded parts. Let us take the first figure. Here this is a pentagon, because it has how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides are there. So this can be called as a pentagon. This pentagon is divided into 5 equal parts. Out of 5 equal parts, 1 part was shaded. That means we are taking 1 out of 5 parts. So now we can represent this as 1 by 5. That means you are shading 1 part out of 5 parts. Now let us come to another example, which is in the shape of a triangle. This triangle was divided into 4 equal parts. Out of 4 equal parts, 3 parts are shaded. 3 parts are shaded with yellow color. So how can we represent this picture in terms of fraction? Here you are taking 3 parts out of 4 parts. So this can be represented as 3 by 4. Now let us come to the other example. Here you can see two oval shapes in which each shape is divided into two equal parts. My dear children, please remember, I am concentrating about these fractions only when the figure, given figure is divided into two equal parts, then only you can represent them in terms of fractions. Here if you look at these oval shapes, here each shape is divided into two equal parts, but I am taking here how many parts? I am taking 3 parts. I am taking 3 parts here. That means I am taking 3 parts here. That means I am taking 3 out of how each shape is divided into 2. That means I am getting 3 by 2. But here it was written as 1 by 2. How you are getting that value? Here if you see the figure, you are getting complete one figure, that means 1, and in the remaining figure you are getting half of the part was shaded, that is nothing but 1 by 2. That means these two fractions represents the same value. These two fractions represent the same value. But how can we write like this? That means in 3, how many 2 are there? Only 1. If you take 2 as a set, you can make, there are 3 students. I want to make these 3 students into a group of 2. How many groups are possible? Only one group is possible. So that's why I am writing 1 here. That's why I am writing 1 here. Next, then how much is left? How much is left? 1 is left. So 1 by 2. If you represent the fraction like this, then this has another name based on the nature of numerator and denominator. We can name the fractions in a different way. Let us discuss about later. Next, let us come to the last example. If you see here, you have a bars, I mean a rectangles. Each rectangle is divided into 4 equal parts. Here total how many parts are shaded? 4 plus 4, 8 plus 3, 11. So it is nothing but 11 by each part is divided into 4. So it is nothing but 11 by 4. Again, if you observe this figure, how many full blacks are shaded? 2. How many full blacks are shaded? 2. Then after that how many are left? 3. 3 are left. 3 are left out of 4 parts. That means this 11 by 4 can also be represented as 2 3 by 4. 2 3 by 4. That means if you come to here, let us see some more examples. Right. Now I am taking one example like this, 1 by 3. Already I told you that this, the number which was written, the digit which is above the horizontal line is known as numerator, and the number which is below the horizontal line which known as denominator is known as denominator. If you observe both the numerator and denominator, we can say that numerator is less than the denominator. Numerator is less than the denominator. So if the numerator is less than the denominator, we can say that these fractions are known as proper fractions. These fractions are known as proper fractions, right? And you can see one more example. You can see one more example, that 3 by 2. If you look at that example, then the numerator 3 is more than the denominator. So we can say that if the fractions are like this, these are known as improper fractions. These are known as improper fractions. Right, like this we can classify. We can classify the fractions into improper fractions as well as proper fractions based on the values of numerator and denominator, right. That means if you can see the board here, in the first case numerator is less than the denominator, so we call it as proper fraction. In the second case numerator is more than the denominator, we can call it as improper fraction. Like this we have two types of fractions, proper fraction and improper fraction, right. Now let us come to the next example, that like this we can classify the fractions into proper fractions, improper fractions. As you have seen the example like this, for example, if you take 11/4, here this numerator is more than the denominator, so this comes under improper fraction. This comes under improper fraction. So this improper fraction can also be represented like this. That means 2 3/4, which is nothing but, if you write the fractions like this, these are known as mixed fractions. These are known as mixed fractions. That means every improper fraction can be represented in terms of mixed fraction. If you observe this example also, you have 1/2. Here you can see 1 is a whole part and 1/2 is a fractional part. It is a mixture of both whole number as well as a fraction. That's why we call it as a mixed fraction. So from this we can got an idea that we have proper fraction, improper fraction, and every improper fraction can be represented in the form of a mixed fraction, right. Now let us come to the other type of fractions, which are known as like fractions and unlike fractions, right. As we discussed that based on the numerator and denominator values, we can classify them into proper as well as improper fractions. Now let us come to one example. Let us take a fraction like 1/3 and another fraction as 2/3. If you take the fractions like this, what you observed here you can observe that the denominators are same. In the first fraction the denominator is 3, in the second fraction also the denominator is 3. If the fractions are like this, these fractions are known as like fractions. Generally we, in our day-to-day life, we think about the persons who are like-minded. Like-minded means it is nothing but their thoughts, their way of thinking and our way of thinking, mostly you can feel that those are same. That means that like-minded, that means there is something which has the similarity. Similarly here also we have the similarity, that the denominator is here 3, here also the denominator is 3. So here both the denominators are same. So these type of fractions are known as like fractions. Now let us look at another example. Let us take a situation where the denominators are not same. For example, 5/7 and the other one is 6/5. If you look at these two examples, here you can find this here we have the denominator 7, here we have the denominator 5. Are they same? No, both the denominators are not same. If the fractions are like this, these are known as unlike fractions. These are known as unlike fractions. Like that, by looking at the fractions, by looking at the group of fractions, we can easily find out which are like and which are unlike fractions. So far we discussed about proper fraction, improper fraction. Improper fractions can also be represented in the form of a mixed fraction. Then we discussed about what are like fractions and what are unlike fractions, right. Now let us look at into another category, that is nothing but, let us see here. If you take any fraction 4 by 5, let us take a fraction 4 by 5. Now what happens when you multiply both the numerator and denominator with the same number? That means here I want to multiply this 4 by 5. Right. Now I want to write one more fraction. I want to write one more fraction by multiplying both the numerator and denominator with 2. Then what will happen? That is nothing but 4 into 2 by denominator also, you have to multiply the denominator also. So that is nothing but 5 into 2. If you do like this, then the fraction will not change, because you are multiplying with the same number. Again, if you want to simplify 2 will gets cancelled, you will get the same value. That is nothing but, here I will get 4 2s are 8 by 5 2s are 10. Then again, now let us multiply the same fraction with 3. What will happen? That is nothing but 4 into 3 by 5 into 3. That is nothing but 4 3s are 12 by 5 3s are 15. 5 3s are 15. If you observe these fractions, basically we are taking the same fraction 4 by 5, but if you multiply with 2, you are getting 8 by 10, whereas if you multiply with 3, you are getting 12 by 15. You are getting 12 by 15. 12 by 15. From this we can say that this 8 by 10 and 12 by 15 are also same as 4 by 5. We can call all these fractions as equivalent fractions. We can call all these fractions as equivalent fractions. That means 4 by 5 is same as 8 by 10 and it is also same as 12 by 15. If the fractions are like this, so that how many equivalent fractions can we write for the given fraction? Is it finite or infinite? Let us look at here. If you are multiplying with 2, you are getting 8 by 10. If you are multiplying with 3, you are getting 12 by 15. Again, if you multiply with 4, you will get one more fraction, that is 16 by 20. And if you multiply with 5, you will get 20 by 25. You will get 20 by 25. You will get the fractions like this. All these fractions are known as equivalent fractions, right? Now let us come to here. You can see the slide, types of fractions. Here we classified the fractions into proper fractions, improper fractions, which can also be represented as mixed fractions, like and unlike fractions, and equivalent fractions. Right. So far we discussed about types of fractions. Let us look at the operations on fractions. Let us see here. You can find, we know what are the operations we have in numbers: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Here also on fractions we can do all the operations. Let us look at here. We have the addition of fractions. For example, let us take a fraction, two fractions like this. Here you have 3 by 8, here you have 3 by 8, here you have 3 by 8. This can be represented as, if you observe the figure here, total we have 8 parts. Out of 8 parts, 3 parts are shaded. So I can represent this as 3 by 8. Next, how can we represent 4 by 8 in a picture, or what is the pictorial representation of 4 by 8? Out of 8 parts, you have to shade 4 parts. It will represent 4 by 8. Now here the operation is addition. If you observe these two fractions, what you call these two fractions? Here the denominators are same, both are 8 only. So we can call these two fractions as like fractions. We can call these two fractions as like fractions. If you have the like fractions like this, here you have 3 parts shaded, here you have 4 parts shaded. By adding together, totally you have 7 parts shaded out of 8 parts. That means I can represent this as total 7 parts shaded out of how many parts are there? 8 parts. This is the sum of the two given fractions, right? For each and every problem, we cannot follow the same type of pictorial representation. By observing this problem or by observing this kind of situation where you are adding two like fractions, how you are getting the sum? If you observe, here the denominator is 8, in the answer also we have the same denominator 8, but what about the numerators? Here you have 3, here we have 4, the result is 7. That means if you are taking the like fractions and you are doing the operation sum or addition, or you want to find the sum, it is nothing but just add the numerators. That is nothing but, here we are doing 3 by 8 plus 4 by 8, which is nothing but the denominator will be same. Don't add the denominator please, because here we are equally divided into 8 parts, right? Now if you add the numerators, that is nothing but 3 plus 4, which is nothing but 7 by 8. Are you getting the same answer or not? Yes. So generally for understanding, we will represent by using these pictorial representation. From this we can conclude that directly you can add the numerators like this. Please remember, my children, sometimes some students are used to add the denominators also, but it is not at all correct. Now let us look into one more problem. Let us look into one more problem. What about the value of 1 by 2 plus 7 by 2? If you observe these two fractions, we can say that as the denominators are same, these two fractions are like fractions. So directly you can add the numerators, that is 1 plus 7 by 2, which is nothing but 8 by 2. Is there any way to represent the fraction 8 by 2? I already told you, if you look at the fraction 8 by 2, their numerator is more than the denominator. That type of fraction is known as improper fraction. And already we know that improper fraction can be represented in terms of mixed fraction. So how can you write this as a mixed fraction? Here, if you take 8 students, I want to divide them into groups in which each group contain 2 students. Each group contain 2 students. How many groups can we find? Obviously it is 4 groups. It is 4 groups. So what is the value of 8 by 2? It is nothing but 4. It is nothing but 4. Like this, when two like fractions are given, we can add by simply adding the numerators. Now let us come to the other problem. Let us look at the problem, all of you. Here it is given that Stella is drawing a portrait. She drew 2 by 5th of the portrait on Tuesday and 1 by 6th of the portrait on Wednesday. On one day she completed 2 by 5th part, and on the next day she completed 1 by 6th part of the portrait. Now the question is, how much did she draw till now? After 2 days, how much part she completed? Here, if you understand the problem clearly, then immediately you will get the idea of doing addition. That means on first day she has done something, on the second day she has done something. Now we have to find how much she completed, how much part she completed. It is nothing but you have to add the two parts. Here if you observe, on the first day she completed 2/5 part, and on the second day she completed 1/6 part. Now I want to find total how much part she completed. That means I have to add these two, 2/5 plus 1/6. In the earlier case you learnt about how to add like fractions. But what about here? Here if you observe the two fractions, in these two fractions the denominators are 5 and 6, which are not the same. If the two fractions are like this, we already know that we can call them as unlike fractions. So now we are going to discuss about how can we add unlike fractions. For this, my dear children, please be involved in the class, because if you know well about these additions, the same thing will be, the same phenomena will be there in subtractions, right? Okay. Now here the denominator is 5, here the denominator is 6. Here again we use the concept of equivalent fractions, right? Now for this, now I want to make these two unlike fractions into like fractions. I am converting these unlike fractions to like fractions. How can we convert these unlike fractions into like fractions? Let us see, by using the concept of equivalent fractions. Now in the first fraction the denominator is 5. Let us write the multiples of 5. How can you get multiples? Multiples are nothing but, let us take a number. If you multiply that number with another number, the product will become multiple of the given number. That means if you multiply 5 with 1, you will get 5, 5 ones are 5. If you multiply 5 with 2, 5 twos are 10. If you multiply with 3, then you will get 15. It is nothing but fifth table. 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, 5 threes are 15, 5 fours are 20, 5 fives are 25, 5 sixes are 30, 5 sevens are 35. Like that we can write infinite number of multiples to any given number. These are the multiples of 5. Now let us come to the other fraction. Here the denominator is 6. Now let us write the multiples of 6. It is nothing but just write the products when you multiply 6 with different numbers. That is 6 ones are 6, 6 twos are 12, 6 threes are 18, 6 fours are 24, 6 fives are 30, 6 sixes are 36, and so on. For any number we can write infinite number of multiples, right? If you observe the multiples of both the numbers, is there any common multiple for these two? Yes, it is 30. 30 is the common multiple for both the denominators. From this, why I am writing these multiples? Because I want to make these two fractions into like fractions. Then only my addition part will become very easy. To make it into like fractions, I am writing the multiples. From that multiple, I got the common multiple, which is 30. Now let us take 2/5. Now I want to make this denominator as 30. What we got, the multiple is there, no common multiple. I want to make each and every denominator to 30. So 5 becomes 30 when it is multiplied with 6. We know that 5 6 are 30. Already we know about equivalent fractions. if you multiply both the numerator and denominator with the same number, here we are multiplying with 6, here also if you multiply with the same number 6, then the value of the fraction does not change. So, 2 6s are 12. That means 12 by 30 is the equivalent fraction of 2 by 5. In the same way, let us find the equivalent fraction of 1 by 6, whose denominator is 30. Why we are taking again 30? Because 30 is the common multiple for both the denominators. Now, how you are getting 30? Again, 6 into how much is 30? We know that 6 5s are 30. That means you are multiplying the denominator 6 with 5, you will get 30. For not changing the fraction, the value of the fraction, again multiply the numerator also with 5. So, 1 into 5 is nothing but 5. That means 1 by 6 can be written as 5 by 30 and 2 by 5 can be written as 12 by 30. Now, if you observe these two fractions, here both the denominators are same. That means I changed the given two unlike fractions into like fractions by using the concept of equivalent fractions. Right? Now, how can we write this? This can be written as 2 by 5 is nothing but 12 by 30 plus 1 by 6 is nothing but 5 by 30. Already we know how to add the like fractions, that is nothing but just simply add the numerators, that is nothing but 12 plus 5, 12 plus 5 by, already I told you, you should not add the denominators, right. This is nothing but 12 plus 5, 17 by 30. That means she completed 17 by 30 part of the portrait in the 2 days. Have you understood? In the first case we discussed about like fractions, how to add like fractions. In the second case, we have seen how to add unlike fractions. Right? Now, let us come to subtraction. Again here, if you observe the problem, you have to find the difference between 3 by 4 and 1 by 4. What is the nature of these two fractions? Here the denominator is 4 in the first fraction, in the second fraction the denominator is 4. That means the denominators are same. So, we can call these two fractions as like fractions. Like fractions. Already we applied one logic or one procedure in adding like fractions, that is nothing but just add the numerators when the fractions are like fractions. And already we know that subtraction is also one kind of addition. So, here also we follow the same method, that is 3. I can represent 3 by 4 as like this. If you write a rectangle like this, I made it into 4 equal parts. Out of 4 equal parts, as the fraction is 3 by 4, I shaded 3 parts. And in the second fraction we have 1 by 4, that means one part will be shaded out of 4 parts. Now, as we are doing subtraction, in the first fraction you have 3 parts, in the second fraction you have 1 part. Now, the case is subtraction, that means you have to take 1 part out of the first figure, that means you will get 2 parts out of 4 parts. This can be represented as 2 by 4. It is nothing but simply here the problem is 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4. How you are getting 2 by 4? For each and every time we cannot draw the figures like this. So, the denominator is same 4, Whatever the concept we applied for addition, we apply the same concept here also, that is 3 minus 1. Just subtract the numerators, that is nothing but 3 minus 1 is 2 by 4, which is same as this one. Right. Now, if the here answer is 2 by 4, can we write this fraction in any other form, or can we simplify this fraction? That means we are writing the given fraction in the simplest form. We call the fraction as simplest form when the numerator and denominator has the common factor as 1. Common factor as 1. If you see here, 2 is nothing but, I can write 2 as 1 into 2. Therefore, what are the factors of 2? 1 is a factor and 2 is a factor. Let us take 4. 4 can be written as 1 into 4. Are there any other factors? I can write this as 2 into 2 also. That means for 4 we have 3 factors, 1, 2 and 4. Are there any common factors for these two numbers if you observe the factors? Yes, there is a common factor 2, right. If there is a common factor other than 1, then we can call the given fraction is not in the simplest form. So, how can you write this in simplest form? It is nothing but simply 2 can goes how many times in 4? If you write second table, 2 ones are 2 and you can write 2 twos are 4. That means this 2 goes how many times in 4? 4 can be written as 2 into 2. These 2 gets cancelled one time. So, that is nothing but 1 by 2. Or if you observe the figure also, half of the part is shaded in that whole figure. That is nothing but 1 by 2. Like this, whenever you are solving a problem, always keep the fractions in its simplest form. Let us come to the next problem. Here, let us look at the problem. Lasya went to park this morning. She walked 5 by 8 of a mile and then ran 7 by 18 of a mile. By walking, she completed how much distance? 5 by 8th part of a mile. And by running, she completed how much distance? 7 by 18th of a mile. Now, here by walking she covered some distance, by running she covered some distance. Now, here you have to find how much more distance she covered through walk than run, that we have to find. Now, here you can observe two fractions, one is 5 by 8 and another one is 7 by 8. So, if you write the fractions, 5 by 8 is one fraction and 7 by 18 is another fraction. In the problem, it is clearly given that she had completed more distance by walking, because if you see the last sentence, how much more miles did Lasya walk than run? That means she finished more distance by walking than running. That means 5 by 8 is more and 7 by 18 is less. Now, you want to find the difference of these two. Again, if you observe these two fractions, what you observed here, these two are unlike fractions. So, again we follow the same procedure for what we followed for additions, right. Here you have the denominator as 8, here the denominator as 18. Are they same? No. That means these two fractions are unlike fractions. What we have done when the case is addition. If we have unlike fraction for additions, we converted first the given two fractions into like fractions by writing their equivalent fractions. Now, if you observe these two fractions, what are the multiples of 8? First you have to write the multiples of the denominators, because we want to make it into equivalent fractions. So, 8 multiples are nothing but you have to remember 8th table. 8 ones are 8, 8 twos are 16, 8 threes are 24, 8 fours are 32, 8 fives are 40, 8 sixes are 48, right? 8 sevens are 56, 8 eights are 64, 8 nines are 72, and 8 eights are 80, and so on. You can write n number of multiples. In the same way, let us write the multiples of 18, right? Multiples of 18, 18 ones are 18, 18 twos are 36. It is nothing but, don't worry about 18th table. Just if you add 18 continuously, you will get the 18th table. Don't worry, right? Now, what is 18 threes are? That is nothing but 54. Next, 18 fours are 72. Next, 18 fives are 90, and so on. If you observe the multiples of these two numbers, here what is the common multiple? 72. Here also the common multiple is 72. Other than this, can you find any number? No. If you go on writing, you can find some more multiples which are common, but you have to take the least common multiple, that is the least multiple which is common, right? Now, let us make this 5 by 8 into a fraction with the denominator 72. How can you write? 5 by 8 is here, no? Now, I want to write the equivalent fraction to 5 by 8 which is having the denominator 72. If I multiply 8 with 9, you will get 72. 8 nines are 72. Let us multiply with the same 9. 5 nines are 45. Right? So, this 45 by 72 is equivalent fraction of 5 by 8. How it became equivalent fraction? By multiplying both the numerator and denominator with 9. In the same way, let us write for 7 by 18. Here also, because I am converting these two unlike fractions into like fractions. So, here again 72, 18 fours are 72. So, numerator also you have to multiply with 4, 7 fours are 28. Now, 5 by 8 can be written as 45 by 72, 7 by 18 can written as 28 by 72. If you observe these two fractions, these two are like fractions. Now, we can do the subtraction, that is nothing but 45 by 72 minus 28 by 72. Here both the fractions are like fractions, so I can write this as, just find the difference between the numerators, 45 minus 28, which is nothing but 17 by 72. 17 by 72. That means she had completed 17 by 72 of a mile through walk than run, right? Like this we solve the problems both in addition as well as subtraction. Now, let us come to the other part, which is nothing but multiplication of fractions. If you look at here, again if you come to multiplication of fractions, here you can see the two different situations. That is, you can multiply a whole number. For example, 2 is a whole number or 2 is a number. We are multiplying this number with a fraction. This is one case. We have another case, like I will take a fraction like this 2 by 3 when this is multiplied by another fraction 1 by 5. In the first case, you are multiplying a number by a fraction. In the second case, you are multiplying a fraction by another fraction. Let us look at these two things in detail. Now, let us take 2 into 1 by 4, in which I am multiplying a whole number by a fraction. Right. How can, in our general number system, if you take numbers, what do you mean by 2 into 3? What do you mean by 2 into 3? How you are getting the product? 2 into 3 nothing but 2 times 3. 2 times 3. That is, you have to add 3 for how many times? 2 times, which is nothing but 3 plus 3 is 6. That's why you are getting 2 into 3 as 6. Apply the same here. As we followed here, 2 into 1 by 4 is nothing but 2 times 1 by 4. 2 times 1 by 4. That is nothing but you have to add 1 by 4 for how many times? 2 times. How can you write that? 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. How can you add? This is nothing but again comes under addition. These two are like fractions. So, directly how can you say that these two are like fractions? Denominators are same. So, directly we can add the numerators, that is 1 plus 1, which is nothing but 2 by 4. We got the same answer here. If you look at the figures, 2 into 1 by 4 is nothing but 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. This represents 1 by 4 and this also represents 1 by 4. We are adding these two into which will make 2 by 4. Like this, we multiply a whole number by a fraction, right? Now, let us come to the other topic, that is, how can you multiply a fraction by another fraction? Let us look at the example. The first one is a fraction 1 by 3 and second one is also a fraction which is again 1 by another fraction 1 by 2. Now, I want to multiply these two fractions. If you write this as like 1 by 2, in our earlier problem we discussed about 2 into 1 by 4, which is nothing but 2 times 1 by 4. Here 1 by 3 times 1 by 2. That means, let us look at the figure. By figure you can easily understand. Here I am taking a part, a figure in which it is divided into two equal parts. It is divided into two equal parts. Because here it is 1 by 2, I am taking 1 out of 2. That means this figure represents 1 by 2. Now, in this 1 by 2, again I want to take 1 by 3. That is nothing but how many parts I should make it? 3 parts. So, let us take only this shaded part and divide it into 3 equal parts like this. This is 1, this is another part and this is another part. I made this half of the part into 3 equal parts. In these 3 equal parts, I have to consider only one part. That means I have to take only this part. Now, let us observe the figure. As here we are making into 3 equal parts, this side also you have to make it into 3 equal parts. Totally you have 6 equal parts. 6 equal parts. Out of 6 equal parts, you are taking only 1. That means that is 1 by 6. That means 1 by 3 into 1 by 2 is nothing but 1 by 6. We cannot draw or we cannot do the operation every time by using this pictorial representation. Now let us see by looking at the fractions how we got this value. Here if you observe the denominator in the product, we are getting as 6. We are getting it as 6. That is nothing but if you multiply both the denominators, 3 2s are 6. And in the same way multiply both the numerators, again you will get 1. Now let us observe one more problem, 2 by 5 into 4 by 7. These two are fractions. Now I want to find the product of these two fractions, which is nothing but you have to multiply both the numerators, 2 into 4 by multiply both the denominators, 5 into 7, which is nothing but 2 4s are 8 by 5 7s are 35. Like this we find the product of given two fractions, right. By this we completed so far how can we represent the fractions, what are the types of fractions, and what are the operations on fractions. So far we completed addition, subtraction and multiplication. In the next class we are going to discuss about the remaining operations, that means how can we divide the fractions, as well as how can we do the same thing based on what we have done for fractions, we do the same for decimals, and then we move into the other number systems, right. Okay. Thank you for listening the class. Actually I want to give the two questions. In the next class you will get those two questions. Don't worry, be thorough with the concepts whatever we completed so far. Thank you very much.